I've seen so many times somebody didn't have a driver's license and they fled the police. So what is it? We should put that on a shirt, Nick. We should absolutely put that on a shirt. Never commit a felony to avoid a misdemeanor. Okay? Dumb shits. Not you guys, of course. My listeners are law-abiding citizens. No, you're not.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, your very own, very personal, very dedicated servant called your board-certified criminal defense lawyer. Here to serve you for all your guilty pleasure needs here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts, created and crafted and curated by our content genius we knew as Michael Rivers, God rest his soul. Today we're reacting to Kim Potter. When the officer does something she's going to regret for the rest of her life. And here's the thing. I'll tell you a little bit more about Kim Potter. Kim Potter's case happened here in Minneapolis. A buddy of mine tried this case. It was a very, very difficult case for the community. Had all kinds of implications, both race-wise, because it was a young black man that died, and, a cop thing, So we're going to react to that, but before we do, we got a little housekeeping stuff to do. I think I said in a prior episode, we've got some new shirts on clrbrucerivers.com. Got to spread the word. Are you self-snitching? Let's say you're 10 years old, and your mom asks you, did you do something? You're not going to fucking tell her you did it. No way. No. Your mom, a cop, doesn't matter. I didn't do it. He did it. I didn't do it. No, I'm not going to talk. Stop self-snitching. We got hats. We got some Michael's art on metal, which is just, these are really cool. This is from Guatemala. And this one's from the George Floyd trial. These are really kind of neat. We're trying to do something a little bit different, and just keep his memory alive and his art alive. He was a really voracious appetite for photography. And so we're going to be putting more and more stuff up of his. So go to clrbrucerivers.com. And as always, this is brought to you by our sponsor, askalawyer.com. Askalawyer.com, you can, for $49, you get a living, breathing lawyer giving you advice about whatever case you might have. So go to askalawyer.com. I know Nick wanted to find out if he had all this child porn on his computer. And so he asked, should I take this into Geek Squad because I have all this illegal shit on my computer? Guess what? No, you don't do that. You throw it in the garbage, Nick. Jesus Christ. I'm kidding. He didn't really do that. But Grandma did. And, Grandma got some really good advice from askalawyer.com. $49. And if you're doing your own legal research, they have AI trained on all the laws in the 50 states. So go to askalawyer.com. All right, so we did a reaction to this case a while back when it happened, when the trial was going on. But one of the things we didn't do is we didn't have the body cam. So now we're kind of reacting to the body cam. And this is through EWU again, Explore With Us, so give them a little love. Let me tell you something. It isn't easy for a cop to shoot somebody. People think it's just, oh, you're a cop, pop, 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 It's not. It really fucks them up. When you see what happens with her here, now I haven't seen this yet, but I know what happens. This guy has a warrant. He's got a warrant, and they're going to arrest him for a warrant, and he takes off, and she shoots him. That's essentially what happens. So let's just take a look at this.
Just step out of the car real quick, okay? And I'll explain what's going on. Don't.
I'm not doing nothing.
Don't. You're tensing up, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it. Can't bring it back. Wait. Don't.
If he had a warrant, taking off does nothing for him. It's just a flight or fight response, right? That's what it is. I've seen so many times somebody didn't have a driver's license and they fled the police. So what is it? We should put that on a shirt, Nick. We should absolutely put that on a shirt. Never commit a felony to avoid a misdemeanor. Okay? Dumb shits. Not you guys, of course. My listeners are law-abiding citizens. No, you're not. Some of you are.
Don't.
I'll tase you!
You did?
Yes!
Okay.
I grabbed the gun! I shot him! Oh my God!
Fuck. That's an oh fuck moment. Those tasers are yellow for a reason. She grabbed the wrong one, and she shoots him. And she's just now knows that her career is over.
A traffic stop in the spring of 2021 turns into chaos for the officers, the driver, and the entire community when a fatal mistake becomes a national flashpoint, igniting a wave of unrest. As agitation spreads throughout the city, the tensions between the police and the public erupt, and the world watches to see what justice will look like in this explosive case.
Now, this is, this did create a lot of racial tension, but it really wasn't a race case. I mean, he had a warrant. He's not complying. So the officers were justified in everything they did, except killing him. And I don't mean to make light of it, but it's so tragic. And she clearly didn't try to kill him. I mean, she didn't mean to shoot him with her gun. She says, taser, taser, taser.
This is the America we live in now. My God, it's a war zone.
The following report is based on official police records, and some of the footage has never been seen before until now. On April 11, 2021, 2 officers in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota stop a car when they notice expired tabs and an obstruction hanging from the rearview mirror.
Oh, sakes, dude.
So expired tabs, misdemeanor. If that, it might even just be a ticket. And something hanging from the rearview mirror. Do you guys have it like an air freshener or some crystals or some shit hanging from your fucking rearview mirror? Take it off, because that's a reason to get stopped by the cops. It's an obstruction of your view.
Really?
Move forward.
You're gonna stop right here.
Officer Kimberly Potter takes up position at the rear of the car as her trainee, Officer Anthony Lucky, approaches the door.
Hey, what's going on, man? You got a driver's license and proof of insurance for me at all?
Oh, that's inside.
You don't have a driver's license? Okay. What's your name? You're Dante? Okay, gotcha. Well, there's a couple things here's when I stopped you. The air freshener hanging down there. Yeah, can do that. And then our other question is your tabs. Yeah, just keep looking for the insurance, and then I'm gonna write your name, date of birth down, all right?
The man they've pulled over is 20-year-old Dante Wright, and a young woman named Elena is in the passenger seat.
I wanted to say he was lying, but I think he's honestly telling the truth, so.
As the police run Dante's information through the system, Dante calls his mom for advice.
He calls me and he said, "Mom, I just been pulled over." And I said, "For what?" Like, that was just my first response. Like, "What did you do?" And he said I had air fresheners in the window or in the rearview mirror. And then I said, "Okay, well, take them down." He was like, "You think I'm in trouble?" I was like, "No, you're not in trouble. What would you be in trouble for?"
But what the police find shifts the course of this traffic stop.
Just run him as Dante Ray.
Which just goes to show you the cops never know what they're going to encounter. They never know the situation. That's why sometimes, I called the cops once because one of Michael's friends was, chased people into the house and broke a window. And so I called the cops on him, and I went to go shake the cop's hand. He wouldn't shake my hand, and he wouldn't because he doesn't know me. He doesn't know what he's going into. And at the time, I sort of took umbrage at it, but it's just what they do. They don't know what they're coming into.
Dante Ray. No, just run him like you were in DBS.
Yeah.
Just don't put all that other information in.
Oh, okay.
See what it gives you.
Status suspended.
Now, she's a training officer, right? This Kimberly Potter was an FTO, field training officer, meaning she's training others. Oh.
Mail. State records hit.
See? You don't want to code for yourself.
He's got a gross misdemeanor warrant, and there's an OFP for a female, so I need to ID her. There's also residue, like weed on the middle console, so probably search the car. Apparently the car is his brother's.
You want to tell him what the warrant's for?
Warrant is for the weapons violation.
The officers who have...
So a gross misdemeanor weapons violation would be carrying a pistol without a permit or transporting a pistol without a permit, which I personally think should be an unconstitutional statute, but nobody's really challenged it, especially with the recent Supreme Court decisions. But he probably didn't show up for court. And so now he's got a warrant. And he's got an OFP, an order for protection. And they want to make sure that the woman next to him is not the subject of that, because that would be another charge.
To have now been joined by a sergeant returned to arrest Dante, taking the first steps toward an encounter that will end in disaster.
Just have him step on out.
Hey, Dante. All right, man, here, do me a favor. Just step out of the car real quick, okay? And I'll explain what's going on. You can just put your phone on the dashboard there, okay?
So
and then
am I
the
going
paper.
to jail?
I'll explain all that in a second, okay? Just turn around. Put your hands on your back.
You didn't tell you're under arrest, Dante.
Okay, so you are going to be under arrest, okay? You do have a warrant, so. Don't.
I'm not doing nothing.
Don't. You're tensing up, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it. Keep your hands on your back. Wait.
So he has a gross misdemeanor warrant. So in Minnesota, there's 3 levels of crime. There's misdemeanor, which is up to 90 days in jail, $1,000 fine. There's a gross misdemeanor, 364 days in jail or up to, and a $3,000 fine. And anything over a year and a day is a felony. So he's got it's still a gross. He's got no real new crimes except for tabs, and it's his brother's car, so it's not really his case. And maybe an insurance violation, but I mean, because he's driving a car that may or may not have insurance. But that's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. He should not have taken off, because taking off now is what? It's a felony. And what don't you do? You don't commit a felony to avoid a misdemeanor. You just don't.
Wait, don't. I'll tease you!
But Officer Potter's taser is holstered on the left side of her belt. She reaches to the right, tragically grabbing her 9mm instead.
Look at that one mistake. She grabbed the wrong tool for the job.
I'll tease you! Taser!
But the next sound is not the electric crackle of a taser, but the loud report of a single gunshot. Dante Wright
shoots him at fucking point blank range. Ugh.
Wright is instantly aware of what happened.
Ah, he shot me! I just shot him.
You did?
Yes!
Okay.
I grabbed the wrong gun! I shot him! Oh my god!
Okay, Kim, sit down.
The booming sounds from down the street are from Dante's car smashing into an oncoming SUV before rolling to a stop at an intersection a block away from the initial incident. One cop is already on the scene, and soon there will be many others.
Now here's the thing. I absolutely feel for Dante Wright's family, because he made a choice that set this off. And he didn't deserve to die, no question about it. But this wasn't a volitional thing by Miss Potter. I mean, it just wasn't. And it was, I mean, really, if anything, it's a manslaughter case. And it wasn't charged out that way.
We're gonna need additional units.
Listen to the stress in her voice. I mean, she's just beside herself. And this is a field training officer? You've got him on both sides of your body. You know, it's got to be automatic. I don't know how much time she had in the street or how much time she had with her firearms. They train. She's worried about going to prison. She's not worried about the guy she just fucking shot. I think that tells you everything, honestly. You know, I'm going to go to prison. Well, yeah, see you later. She did go to prison, but...
Kim, that guy was trying to take off with me in the car.
But Officer Potter is inconsolable, and the news isn't improving.
The driver is not breathing according to the passenger.
Oh my god! What have I done? What have I done? I mean, it's all just...
But no one else standing.
I mean, it's all just...
A buddy of mine tried this case, actually, and she could not go anywhere in the state of Minnesota. She wound up having to leave the state, and it was really, really tough for her. And tough for their family, too. I mean, the Dante Wright's family.
What did I do?
I'm so fucked. What did I just do? I can't believe he's dead. I can't believe I just took a life. I can't believe what I did to this young man. She's totally focused on herself.
At the crash scene where the police response is growing by the second, Elena gets out of the car as the officers prepare to move in on Dante. Few, if any of them, know exactly what happened here.
We heard over the radio that Brooklyn Center officers, there was a possible shooting, took the male out of the driver's seat and began performing first aid on them.
Paramedics quickly arrive at the scene as well, but little can be done.
As I approached, I believe they stopped doing CPR. I checked a pulse on his right carotid for when I was aiming at about 10 seconds. I moved over to the left carotid to check over there as well. I did not feel a pulse.
Dante Wright is pronounced dead at the scene, and while it's not clear if Officer Potter immediately received the news, a Hennepin County lieutenant finds her in a worrying state.
I got down to her level and I'm talking to her and she was just repeating some things and, I just told her to stop talking. She repeatedly kept saying that she wanted to die. Again, how my conclusion came that there was something critical that took place. I'm going to prison. I want to die. Just let me die. I talked to her sergeant twice, and on the second time, he finally listened to me, I said, you need to take her gun from her, because I didn't know the whole realm of it, but I knew it wasn't good.
Officer Potter is led to an ambulance where she's checked out before being transported back to the police station. Officer Potter, of course, is far from the only person experiencing trauma from the day's events.
I went outside screaming, I was just so distraught. My neighbors heard me, and my neighbor's like, no, I'll drive you. And there was so much traffic, and I was like, oh my God, I can't. I got out of the car and I started running, but it was so far away. So I had to get back in the car.
I'm just going to tell you right now, if you're a young black man listening to this, and I know I've got plenty of you guys out there, do not fucking run from the cops. You can manage whatever's in front of you. Unless it's a homicide. Well, then go ahead and fucking run. Not really. I can't give you that advice. But honestly, don't take off. You can deal with whatever's in front of you. Be respectful of the cops. You don't have to like them, but don't intentionally antagonize them. Don't take off. Don't call them fucking whatever. Don't like Mr. Young. Don't be that guy. Saying, fuck you, kiss my dick. Be respectful because it's not going to help you at all. I'd rather, if you do get charged with something, we go into court later, you haven't given a statement because you haven't self-snitched, right? And so, what was his attitude? His attitude was cooperative. He asked for a lawyer and I didn't question him any more than that. The flight response is really almost internal. He didn't want to go to jail. And you're not going to fucking take me to jail. No fucking way. You know what? He'd go to jail. He'd be in there for a day, maybe 2 days if it's the weekend. He'd get out, and he'd probably get out without any bail because he just missed court. He wouldn't have any other charges. It's just so fucking sad. And he'd be alive. He'd be alive right now. And unfortunately, Kimberly Potter probably would still be a fucking undertrained officer. I don't mean to beat on her too much, but this was a very bad mistake that she made as a field training officer.
Back in the car, and I couldn't go any further. They just be yellow tape.
In the meantime, cops from several departments and jurisdictions have blanketed the area, and many still have very little knowledge about what happened.
Hi there. No, I don't have all the details. I just replaced my partner about 5 minutes ago. I haven't heard about any officers being hurt at all, but I don't know any details.
When Dante's mom finally gets to the scene, she's confronted with the same lack of answers.
I finally got into the yellow tape and the police officers were stopping me. I'm like, oh my God, is that my son? And I seen the car that we just gave my son 2 weeks ago was smashed up with another car. And I was like, oh my God, was he in an accident? And Brooklyn Center police officers were talking to me and they said they had no information. They don't know what happened. I said, well, I know what happened. I was on the phone. You shot my son.
The sight of this many police cars has attracted attention, and it's not long before the mood grows hostile.
Oh, it's me. You're the one that's yelling out a window while you're driving. These people don't even know what happened. I don't even know what happened, and they're threatening to hurt people. Unbelievable.
But the atmosphere surrounding police shootings is tense in the spring of 2021, and that tension is perhaps especially palpable here in Brooklyn Center, where, less than 10 miles away, Derek Chauvin is on trial for the 2020 death of George Floyd, and as news breaks out about Dante's shooting, the gathering...
That happened right across the street from my office. Everything was walled off with chain link fence, and this was a war zone. And the tension between the police and the public was palpable. It was just awful. And then all of a sudden, this fucking happens.
Crowd begins to take the shape of a full-fledged protest.
Now, I don't condone what Miss Potter did by any stretch. And in all likelihood, she shouldn't have been on the street. You don't make that mistake. How many times do you get a chance to make that mistake? Once. And guess what? It cost somebody their life. But at the same time, this wasn't an intentional killing. This wasn't like the Derek Chauvin case. That case, he was on his neck for fucking almost 10 minutes. Almost 10 minutes. And people were telling him to get up. And he's saying, I can't breathe. There's no reason and that was over a gross misdemeanor fake $20 bill. These dramatic things that happen over nothing. They could have just let him go, honestly. They could have just let him go. They had his license plate. They could figure out where he lived and then, executed the warrant some other way.
Hold the space. Text people to come and Avenue North, Lee Avenue North. Get people here. Do not be violence painted. Get the party pigs. Do not be painted by them. I want you to fight them. Get people here right now. Text people to get Avenue North right now. Do not go for the Okie. The reason why they have so many pigs out here is because they know
See, I don't agree with this shit either. Protest all you want. Don't give them any more ammunition.
But the growing unrest at the scene of Dante's shooting is only the first glimpse of what is in store for Brooklyn Center as the day turns into night and news of the incident continues to spread throughout the community.
I remember when this was going on. It was so tense all over the city. Oh my God.
Riot squads gather at the police station as the protests spread and troubling reports come over the radio.
Minneapolis, female stated looting of Walmart will be happening soon, and hung up on it.
And as temperatures rise across the city, it's perhaps inevitable that some protesters are detained.
My phone is ringing. Can you see who that is, please? You don't have to answer it, but can you tell me who it is? Because it might be my mom, and she's going to be very disappointed in me.
That's going to be my mom, and she's going to be really disappointed in me. She was going to make me dinner with some dessert and maybe a bowl of chocolate pudding and put me to bed and pat my head and read me a story. Fuck.
Oh, man. I thought I was doing the right thing. It's looking real great outside. It looks like you guys got it all in control.
Even as the protests turn chaotic in some areas, police must also confront destruction and theft throughout the city.
I'll be honest with you, I got no idea what to do here. Everything around here is getting looted.
The wide net of property damage and looting sends the cops to multiple businesses throughout the night as they struggle to keep up with sporadic outbursts.
This business of destroying your community when something like this goes on, I've never understood. You remember what happened during the riots in L.A.? They burned down their whole community. They did the same thing here during the George Floyd riots. Target got torched. The Walgreens by my house was ransacked, and they stole all the drugs. It was like a free-for-all.
Of criminal activity.
You better get the home! Get the Home! Y'all better get home! Drop the... Stop it! Police, you're under arrest! Come on, your hands up!
And why is it everybody seems to be such a fast runner that does the looting?
They probably just ran out of here. That kid looks like he's about 8 years old. Wow, this is the America we live in now. My God, it's a war zone.
The local unrest continues throughout the following week, and the city reports that they've handled at least 200 calls ranging from burglaries to property damage. According to officials, more than 140 businesses are damaged, including several instances of arson. In the midst of the ongoing protests and community reaction, Officer Potter resigns from the Brooklyn Center Police Department on April 13th, 2 days after the shooting. The following day, she is arrested and charged with second-degree manslaughter in the death of Dante Wright.
So, yep, I'm just gonna, I know, I'm very sorry. Just, let's just face this way just for the sake of it. I'm just gonna pat everything down. Do you have an underwear on?
No, I just sports bra on.
Okay.
There's no pockets.
Okay. Just kick your leg a little bit, Lenny, thank you.
As she arrives at the jail, Potter has an emotional exchange with the officer escorting her.
I'd give you a hug, but that's probably not allowed.
What's that?
I can't give you a hug. It's probably not allowed.
Yeah, I just be aware that once you walk in the door, everything is recorded, so to speak, and phone calls and everything. Just, I'm sure you know that. I'm just okay, and we'll make this as quick and painless as possible.
In September, the Minnesota.
If you're a black guy getting arrested, they don't say that to you. They don't say, "Oh, be careful, everything's recorded." They don't tell you that. You know what else they don't tell you? We'll make this as quick and painless as possible. They don't give you that benefit of the doubt.
Minnesota Attorney General added first-degree manslaughter to her charges. At trial, Potter told the jury that she had never before used her taser or her gun on duty in her 26 years of policing and insisted...
Well, that's good. Then I guess but you should use it in your fucking training. You should use it in 26 years in Brooklyn Center, you've never used your fucking gun or your taser?
Insisted that she didn't want to hurt anybody that day. Dante's mother posted a message on Facebook calling for accountability.
Just see my son laying there, looked to me like he was dead. And I sat there and watched my son sit on the corner for hours and hours. That was my day. I watched my son underneath the yellow tent for seemed to be like a lifetime.
Kimberly Potter was convicted of first-degree manslaughter and sentenced in February 2022. The city of Brooklyn Center agreed to pay Dante Wright's family a lawsuit settlement of $3.25 million in June 2022. Kimberly Potter was released from prison in April 2023.
So she only did a little over a year. She got a downward departure. And she should have. I mean, this was not a first-degree manslaughter case. It just wasn't. It was a second-degree manslaughter case. Second-degree manslaughter is punishable by 48 months. It should have settled. This case should have settled. It should never have gone to trial. She fucked up. She's no longer a law enforcement officer. She no longer lives in the state of Minnesota. People went to her home. They went to their other people that she knew, their family's home, and she was just tortured by the general public. You know, it's just a tragedy all the way around. And the moral of the story is, gentlemen, and I'm talking to gentlemen because women don't get involved. How many cases have I had over the years where a woman has run from the cops? Zero. It happens, but like almost never. It's almost always guys. It does you no good because usually when you're running from a misdemeanor. Don't do it. Never, say it with me. Say it with me. Never commit a felony to avoid a misdemeanor. So my hat goes off to, our heart goes out to the Wright family, and the Potter family. It's a tragedy for them too, but hopefully they can heal. Miss Potter is going to heal, but she's never going to be the same, and the Wright family is never going to be the same. They're always going to feel that loss. Never going to see him get married, never going to see him walk down the aisle, never going to see him be a grandfather, never going to, all those nevers, right? You hear that stuff in the victim impact stuff, which is so hard to hear. So that's our reaction. I hope you're at the bottom of your popcorn bowl and you've drank your wine, and now you're ready to just put your head down on the pillow and rest well. So we'll see you next time here in Criminally Reacts. Make sure you subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Sign up for Patreon. And go to CLRBruceRivers.com for all your merch needs. And we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. 23-hour lockdown, please, is that my God.